Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about application of effective change management to significant issues. Management must deal with each of these issues area to ensure that objective of the organization may continue to be achieved, that the performance level of the organization reach optimum levels, and that there are no significant performance gap apparent, and that the resource within the organization, especially the human resource, are both efficiently and effectively employed. Management must as well assess the environment within which it operates, recognize the pressure that are impacting on it, assess the relative strength, weakness, threat and opportunities of each of the forces for change, and then implement strategies and policies that will enable the organization to grow and to develop. So the core areas will be social responsibility, business ethics, globalization, technological development, compliance with legislation. Responsibility. Many organizations are now recognizing that they need to do more than what is required of them by laws with respect to how their operations impact on the wider community. Not only must they look closely at the impact of their operations on the community as a whole, but they also must take an active interest in others area of the community and social concern. This may necessitate the organization establishing a specific department responsible for the public relation aspect of the operation. Today, these concerns of an organization take an added dimension with the globalization of the business and an increasing internationalism of the government. Their corporate citizenship must also take on board their international dimension. The policies and procedures implemented by the management of the organizations must consider the impact of the flowing aspect of its operation on the community. Corporate objective can no longer afford to be profit oriented alone. The bottom line must be tempered with the impact that this has now how they are viewed by the people within the community and the extent to which they return part of the profit back to the community. The product and the service provided must not be seen as harmful to the people in community, or must their sale be seen to be exploiting certain sectors of the community or discriminating against other sector of the community. Employment of a staff brings with it responsibility for the security of their employment and not to carry out indiscriminate sackings, dismissals and closure of the organization, which will have an adverse impact on the community which may rely totally on the organizations for its continued existence. Resource must also be considered. The undeniable fact of unrenewable natural resource must be taken into account with respect to the right of future generations. Organization must look beyond its own boundaries and consider what it can contribute to the welfare of wider community. Education and training of its employees in developing a wider social concerns may need to be a starting point. Management will then need to look at other projects with a social conscious platform. They may need to support or fund this project to show the wider community that they are concerned about the community generally and they are good corporate citizens. They are not anti-cancer campaign, water conservation plans, recycling schemes, concerning drug use in the community, greenhouse effect programs. These are some of the programs in which corporate can participate and show its concern to the society. Business ethics. Business ethics is another issue area that management in organization today must take into account when developing and implementing its policies and procedures. Business ethics relate to the moral standards and principles that underpin the organization's policies and procedures. It's about the judgment that the organization make in terms of what it considers to be right or wrong. Organizations and their affiliated bodies and associations must develop a code of ethics which acts as a guide to the development and implementation of their policies and procedures. An example of such a code is the development and publication of corporate governance statement that need to be drawn up by all public campaigns. The statement provides detail about the composition, roles and responsibility of the board of directors, administrative structure of the board, descriptions of the committee responsibilities and responsibilities of individual members with respect to their specific committees. Other details relating to subsidiary companies governed by the board, appointments of the audit of account and operations of the organizations, risk management procedures. These statements are seen to be significant in terms of protecting the interest of the stakeholders with respect to their organization in which they are operated and controlled by the board of the director. Business ethics also impacts on other aspects of the operations of the organization. For example, advertising undertaken by the organization must conform to certain legal requirements, but it should in fact go beyond that by conforming not only in the letter of the law but also the spirit of the law. Government rules and regulations must be respected. Globalization. Many organizations are finding that they need to move their competitive boundaries beyond local and national market and into the international and global marketplace in order to survive in the competitive marketplace and to become internationally competitive. Going global may provide an opportunity for an organization to take advantage of economies of scale and to improve its competitive edge or advantage over the organization. Management will need to examine carefully the impact of going global, as there are significant differences between the cultures of the countries in which the organization want to operate and the culture also that of the organization itself. Organizations in their attempt to go global have a wide range of options and strategies that they can adopt to achieve that objective. These objectives can be an export program involving local production, licensing organizations in other countries to manufacture its product or to provide its services, establishing franchising in other countries, establishing subsidiary enterprises in other countries, importing goods or resources from other countries for local manufacture. Technology development. Technology refers to that body of knowledge, of information and skills or experiences which is developed for the production of goods and services. It includes scientific and technical knowledge related to products, process and methods of production, engineering knowledge required to design, develop, implement, produce, operate, install, service, maintain and adapt machinery, etc. Managerial knowledge required to be marshal a labor force, operate plant, equipment, obtain and administer fund, identify, establish and satisfy market. Management will be forced to alter their policies and procedures to take advantage of direct and indirect benefits of the development and to counter any disadvantages that may arise. Benefit may include an increase in productivity, a reduction in high-risk tasks and unpleasant tasks for employees, alteration in the current work arrangement allowing greater flexibility and adaptability of the organization's workforce, improvement in quality of process output, increase in competitive edge or advantage from the and decrease of cost and improved quality, decrease in time taken to complete tasks. The use of technology impacts on all aspects of organization's operation. The impact may be seen in terms of the type and level of equipment used within the organization process, what the employees and management have to actually do in terms of tasks and procedures, the composition and skill requirement of the workforce, managerial styles and skills employed, training and education programs implemented, remuneration policies for employees, how the various sections of the organization and technology used within these sections are coordinated, the environment within which the organization operates. Example of the technology that an organization may have to take into account includes computerization, automation, robotics, CAD, CAM, SIM, process information technology including email, e-commerce, managerial information system, telecommunication and teleconferencing. The use of technology provides organizations with the opportunity to standardize their operations and work practices, and in the process establish a benchmark against which to measure organizational performance. This will enable management to more effectively coordinate and control the operations of the organization and to achieve organizational objectives.